Hello, 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 and welcome to the College of Creation. My name is Dan.
And my name is Michael.
And we are Dungeons & Dragons DMs who love to homebrew items, spells, creatures, and also features for D&D. And this is a show where we make brand new homebrew every single episode based on the prompts that we get from our listeners. Hey, do you have a prompt that you would like to hear us make on this show? Something homebrew that you would love to see and just can't quite put the pieces together, or just want to challenge us to do something that you think is nigh impossible? Shoot it over to us in an email, collegeofcreationpod@gmail.com, or you can come on over to our Patreon. That's patreon.com/College of Creation Pod. You can join at the free tier. You can see all the PDFs of all of the creations we've ever made, and you can send us a little hey hello over there as well. Michael, how are you this week?
I'm doing fantastically.
Great.
I love any episode that mentions the Ranger class in any way.
Mm-hmm.
We were tasked with making 5 spells for the Ranger, 5 spells for the Paladin.
A full run.
A full run for the Paladin and for the Ranger. What a joy. What a joy. I don't know if I found this any more or less difficult than the Druid. I did enjoy it more.
Interesting.
I don't know why. Yeah, I thought I had a lot more of a good time doing this one. I think maybe just because the higher level ones really stressed me out with the Druid.
Yeah, I think the high level spells is part of it. I had a lot more gas in the tank, it felt like. I had more ideas than I could fit in necessarily. But that's, I think it is because it's easier to come up with the ideas for the low level spells. Because, there is a lot that exists, and yes, they cover a lot of territory, but there's always little ideas, and you can always come up with like the low to medium version of that idea pretty easily. There's really clear defined like how much damage should this thing do at this level with whatever damage type it is, or whatever damage type it is near to, or whatever. So I enjoy and for the non-damage dealing spells, like you have so much clear benchmarking going on. It's like, okay,
especially for
we're in the rails.
For these two classes, a lot of times the Ranger and the Paladin, their potential for things outside of combat are overlooked because they are so proficient as DPS characters. But there's so much to explore with Paladin roleplay. The charisma element of the Paladin is not explored nearly enough, and it's such a cool thing. And then the Ranger, there are some exploratory things. You have like Pass Without Trace, and those are very useful. But there are other avenues to the Ranger that can be explored as well. So I thought that I was going to have trouble finding holes.
Yeah, it was some good stuff, because my like primary inspiration point was just to look at the spell list and see what schools of magic were underrepresented and try and lean in those directions. So I did that. Maybe your mileage varies a little bit on the actual quality of the spells, but there are definitely some that I like better than others. But in general, a very fun exercise to create some spells to specifically try and lean into the play styles of these two classes and really give them some more juice. So I think we should just get into it, because we have a lot to do.
It's going to be a big episode. Got some heft today. So let's open up both of our documents for the first time.
Indeed.
And go through these spells.
So like I said, I focused mostly on trying to fill the gaps of the schools of magic that are underrepresented.
Yeah.
So we'll start with the Ranger. My first level Ranger spell is called Bursting Mark. First level evocation spell. It is a casting time of 1 bonus action, which you take immediately after hitting a target marked by your Hunter's Mark with a melee or ranged weapon attack.
Nice.
So it's similar to a smite kind of structure.
Sure.
Only verbal components, and it is instantaneous. Your concentration on the Hunter's Mark spell ends. The target of this attack immediately takes an extra 4d6 either acid, cold, fire, lightning, poison, or thunder damage, your choice when you cast the spell. And if you cast this at a higher level than first, that damage bumps up by 1d6 for each additional level. Just a way for the ranger to, instead of relying on that each turn damage, and you want to do a big burst of damage, you don't need to keep this concentration anymore. You're nearing the end of a fight. Throw this on to your last hit and see if it'll push it over the edge. A little bit of an option for a low-level ranger to have like a big Nova moment. And then our Paladin first level spell is called Champion Technique. This is a first level transmutation spell requiring a bonus action, range of touch, and just somatic components. You touch a weapon and choose any weapon mastery property. The weapon then gains the chosen property in addition to its original mastery property for the duration, and anytime before the spell ends, you can change the mastery property for this weapon as a bonus action.
Yeah, that's good.
If you want to keep switching around different weapon masteries and be, more of a fightery kind of paladin, you can take on this to give yourself lots of options.
That's very cool. That's a great way to apply transmutation to a paladin.
How about you? What were your first level spells?
So, for my first level spells, we'll go with the paladin first. I call this Holy Bullet. This is a conjuration spell. It's one action with a range of 60 feet, verbal and somatic components, and it is instantaneous. So you conjure a small, sharp projectile and hurl it at a creature within range, making a ranged spell attack. On hit, the target takes 3d6 radiant damage, and the next time that creature hits you with a spell or weapon attack, the damage is reduced by the same amount. The damage dealt and reduced increases by 1d6 for each slot above 1. So, typical damage output for a first level spell, but you get it back actually a little bit less than typical for a first level spell, but you get it back on the back end.
I can imagine that would be very cool when combined with something like a compelled duel.
Yeah.
Focusing on this creature,
goading
forcing
them
it to target you,
sure.
goading them. You can reduce that damage, and you can. Yeah, that's cool. Paladins don't get a ton of like ranged damage dealing magic.
Yeah.
So
a
little bit is fun.
I wanted to add a little bit of versatility in there. And then leaning more into the exploration pillar of the game for the Ranger, I have a first level illusion spell called Ensconce Flame. This is one action. It's the range of 30 feet with only somatic components, and the duration is 8 hours. You target a flame within range that takes up no more space than a 5-foot cube, shrouding it from view. Only you and up to 5 other creatures that you choose can see, hear, and feel heat from the flame for the duration.
Ooh,
this does not hide the flame from creatures with true sight.
I might argue that you should also add any smoke is also obscured from your fire.
I suppose I counted that in seeing, but yes, I think that is necessary to stipulate that. Because smoke is not flame.
Smoke and flame are two different, and I can see an argument being made that, like,
the
enemies can still see the smoke from your fire. But I like that it kind of is this all-encompassing thing that you can't really cover with like a minor illusion.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think a clever player could figure out a way to do a minor illusion to make it feel like, oh, nobody can see our flame or whatever. And I would allow that, to be fair. But I think this is a better version of that same thing that's really designed. Yeah,
this is just there's no way to dispute it. It says what it says, and it only does this, and it does it well.
I like it.
Ensconce Flame.
I appreciate it. Let's go level 2, shall we?
Yes.
Level 2, I made for the Ranger, also an illusion spell. They don't get very many of those. This is called Hunter's Pack. This is also bonus action to cast, range of 60 feet, verbal and somatic components, and it is concentration up to 1 minute. Unfortunately, that doesn't play very well with Hunter's Mark, but there's only so much you can do with Rangers. Because this really does need to be concentration, unfortunately. You summon illusory beasts at a point within range, and they occupy a 10-foot radius area. For the duration, creatures of your choice gain the Pack Tactics feature while inside the area, with the illusion itself counting as an allied creature, right? Those creatures get advantage on attack rolls when another ally is within 5 feet of the same target or within 5 feet of them. And as a bonus action on each subsequent turn, you can move the area up to 30 feet in a direction. The spell ends early if you are ever more than 60 feet away from the illusion. So you're just creating a little illusion of like beasts that are hiding in the shadows, lashing out, creating distractions, and giving your allies around a specific target a little bit of a just advantage on strikes in a limited area. It's got a fairy fire kind of vibe, but it's not. There's no saving throw attached, and it's not limited to that specific area. You can move this area around as you see fit. Use it as a nice little support buff, if that's the kind of ranger you're playing. And if you use a higher level spell slot, you can expand the area that the illusion fills by an additional 5 feet in radius for each level above second.
Yeah.
And then for our Paladin, this is one that I'm not actually sure that I like, and I think I might need to go back to it. But I called this Radiant Shield. It's sort of an alternate option for the Paladin who didn't take Interception or Protection fighting style. It is a second level. I'm sorry, not illusion. This is supposed to be an abjuration.
Abjuration, yeah.
Yes. It is a reaction that you take when a creature you can see targets you or an ally within range, the range being 10 feet, with a melee weapon or spell attack. It has verbal and material components, the material components being a shield, so you have to be wielding a shield to use this, and it lasts 1 minute. The creature doing the attacking must immediately make a Constitution saving throw before they roll their attack roll, or become blinded for the duration, and then as an action the creature can repeat the saving throw, ending the effect on a success. And then at higher level spell slots, the range of this spell extends an additional 10 feet for each spell slot level above second. So you're kind of expanding like your ability to shield your allies by a significant amount. I don't know if I like it though. I think it's too boring. I want something more exciting. So I might scrap that and come up with a better idea.
I think maybe mechanically it feels boring. Maybe in practice it would be cool. Maybe if you saw somebody do it, it'd be pretty cool.
I think it's functional, probably. But
it definitely is very serviceable. Yes, it is very serviceable.
What did you make?
I actually have 3 level 2 spells, which I'll explain in a second. But we'll go through the main ones first. So hitting the Paladin here, I call this Statement of Virtue. This is an abjuration spell that takes an action, range of touch, only verbal components. You present a holy symbol and speak a statement binding you to an ideal that you hold dear. Choose one of the following conditions, from blinded, charmed, deafened, frightened, or poisoned, for the next hour. If the target of the spell would gain the chosen condition, they instead do not. This can happen a number of times equal to your spellcasting modifier. The duration actually should be an hour. So within an hour. Originally, I thought it was just going to be self, and then I remembered that Aura of Protection exists, and you are immune to Frightened eventually anyway. So I figured you can touch somebody else and give them Frightened immunity for a little bit too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I also had the idea of like putting in a Paladin spell that allows you to like bind another creature to your oath in some way, or like give them a benefit of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which like Ceremony has a whole thing of like you bind a creature to the service of your god, which sounds like too much. I like this, like it's a temporary thing. It's like, great, we're gonna go in, we're gonna do this together, and my god or my oath or whatever will protect you from being blinded while we're inside of this situation.
Yeah. On the ranger side of things, we have Elemental Reserve. This is a bonus action with a range of self, verbal, somatic, and material components, which I did not put in. Who knows what those were supposed to be.
Sometimes material components are hard to
this was
figure
one of the
out
first
what they
ones
are.
I wrote, so I can't remember what I meant for those to be. You generate a wellspring of elemental energy. Choose a damage type from acid, cold, fire, lightning, or poison, and gain a pool of 30 damage points. You and any creature of your choice within 5 feet of you can add 1d8 damage of the chosen type to any weapon attack until the pool is depleted.
Okay, nice.
So you just have some extra damage to play around with. 30 damage felt acceptable for a second level spell because it's not going to last very long. The pool does increase by 10 for each slot level over 2. So you can upcast if you want some more bonus damage in the chamber.
I like it. You're also depleting it pretty slow, right? It's only 1d8 per...
1d8, yeah.
Per attack, right? You can't do... I'm going to burn them all on this. Yeah.
If you have a few of your allies around you, though, if all of you are kind of taking from the same well all at the same time, it can go quickly.
Yeah.
But it is creatures of your choice. So you could just say, no, I'm keeping it all for myself.
I don't know why
Step
you would
off,
do that. But yeah,
Mr.
you
Fighter,
could
Mr.
unload
Barbarian.
it all over the course of a round, or you could not manage to if somebody misses, whatever else, right? So,
and I thought about making it once per round per creature, but that felt too limiting. I don't know that it necessarily needed that just to extend it over the course of a couple rounds. So I just said, at the point you're able to cast second level spells, you and any of the other fighting forward characters are going to have a second attack. So why not just have the ability to unload if you want to,
Yeah, and I mean, if you have the cap on it of 30 points, that's the maximum you're ever going to deal with it. So is it more effective to unload that all in one, or have it as an option a little bit longer, and cast something like an elemental weapon on the fighter who's going to get a bunch of attacks every round?
Yeah.
We'll go through ideally more than that 30 damage points. So it might be more economical to give them something like elemental or magic weapon to boost that damage.
I do have a third one. This was an idea that I couldn't get out of my mind, but my problem was I couldn't decide which class to give it to.
Okay.
So this is all the way down at the bottom. This is either going to be called Divine Guidance or Primal Guidance. It does the exact same thing for both classes. This is a second level divination spell, or maybe necromancy. I'm not sure. It costs an action with a range of 30 feet. I have listed here verbal and verbal components. That should be verbal and somatic. Oops. You force a creature within range to make a wisdom save. On a failure, you learn one of the following things about it: its maximum hit point total, if it is affected by any conditions and what they are, and which damage types it is able to deal. One of those three things. So you just get some information.
Feels like a ranger to me.
It does feel like a ranger, but also I feel like a paladin could call upon a deity to figure that out. Yeah. So it was originally a paladin spell, and then the ranger of it all pulled it kind of across the middle, and I just couldn't decide. So I put it at the bottom.
I think you could put that spell on ranger. The cleric, druid, ranger, and paladin spell lists.
Yeah.
I think that would be fine.
Yep. All four of them. Even I would even argue warlock, I think, if you wanted to use pact guidance.
Sure.
Onward to level 3.
And my level 3 ranger spell is an interesting one that I think it's just one of I like making these spells sometimes where I'm just like, I can't necessarily predict all of the different potential use cases for this. I can imagine in the hands of the right players, it would take on a life of its own. And I love spells like that.
Yes.
This is called Merciful Mark. This is a 3rd level abjuration spell. It has a casting time of 1 action, a range of 60 feet, verbal somatic components, and it has a duration up to 1 hour. You target a creature marked by your Hunter's Mark spell. That creature cannot be reduced to 0 hit points by any creature other than you for the duration of your Hunter's Mark spell. This spell ends early if you move your Hunter's Mark to a different creature.
Yeah.
The idea here being, if you are trying to keep someone alive, if you are trying to for some reason or another, like
target your party member,
spare or prevent something from going all the way down and be like potentially setting off something that would turn them undead due to lich or whatever other abilities, things like that, right? If you
this is the spell that you cast during the protection quest,
right?
You have to get my daughter across the village to safety. No, Hunter's Mark.
See, and that's the thing, is that ideally you use this, you could use this on an enemy if you need them alive for something. So this would work really well with something like a Band of Loyalty, right? Because the Bands of Loyalty is a magic item that if the creature wearing it is reduced to 0 hit points, they instantly die. They cannot be revived or healed. They immediately die, and then the only way to get information out of that creature is to cast Speak with Dead.
Yeah.
It's annoying and a bother, right? If you don't have that loaded up, can you make this work? Like, it's complicated. But if you have that, you mark them, they can't go down to 0, and you can question them all you like until you decide that it's time.
Love it.
Or you could do like you say. You can put this onto an allied creature that you don't want to go down. Yep. It means that you can't cast Hunter's Mark on anything else for the entire, and you... Like, this is a 3rd level spell that only lasts an hour. Like, you have to cast this before you're going into a dangerous situation. And then, hopefully, there's no danger after that. Right. Because you don't have that many of these spell slots. But it will do in a pinch to keep someone from out of harm's way if you really cannot deal with them going down. But then do the enemies know that like you are the thing that is keeping this person's life force hanging on by a thread? And do they then target you to break concentration? Anyway, I think this is a fun spell that has lots of different potential use cases that are weird and strange. And I love it.
Yep.
And then for the Paladin, we have Dooming Smite.
Nice.
Classic Smite spell. It's a bonus action immediately after hitting a creature. Range of self... verbal components. It has a duration of 1 round. So the target hit by this strike doesn't take any extra damage. However, it does reduce its maximum hit points by an amount equal to the damage dealt by this attack, and it cannot regain hit points until the end of your next turn. At the end of your next turn, if the creature's current HP is less than, I put 5 times the spell level that you use to cast this spell. I'm considering making that 10. But you can tell me how you feel that's balanced. It immediately dies and cannot be revived or become undead by anything other than a wish spell for 10 days. So it doesn't do any extra damage when you cast it, but if by the time your next turn comes around, you've reduced it to 15 or less, it's done. You have already doomed it on your previous turn.
I mean, that's a big swing, you know?
Sure, it's a big swing.
But if you get lucky, this could immediately change the tides of battle.
I might make it 10.
A huge... Yeah, I'm wondering if that's too much. 15 feels too...
15 feels low, because if we consider that in order to cast this spell in the first place, that Paladin's got to be level 9.
Right.
What are you fighting at level 9? That's... Whatever you're fighting at level 9, getting the creature down to 15 hit points is negligible to getting it down to 0.
Yeah.
Now 30 is a bit more of a stretch. This thing could go another round. It could heal. It could have allies.
Yeah, I think you're right. I have to get out of this idea that 3rd level spells are are low game spells, not for these classes. This is solidly in the mid game.
Yeah, this is mid tier play here.
And there's always the option in later levels of the game that you use your 4th or 5th level slot to cast this.
Yeah, that would be very late game, but you'd be upping it to 40 or
40
50
or 50
hit points. Which I mean, 50 hit points for something that you're
50 hit points
fighting
is
that's big.
intense.
50, an extra 50 is
it's not
big.
nothing. It's not nothing.
Potentially reducing the creature's total hit point pool by 50, or its effective hit point pool by 50, is no joke in those cases, for sure. So it might be worth the gamble, but it's definitely not for the faint of heart.
The base class is very robust, but all of the subclasses are very sequential, right? They're all kind of laid out the exact same way. And I love something for the Paladin class that just eschews any type of precedent. And this smite spell is that. A smite spell that doesn't deal damage, just reducing damage in a totally unique way for Paladins. It opens the door for a very strategic style of Paladin play that's not typical. So this is cool.
Yeah.
Like it.
Like a little bit of a weird
like
one, but yeah, I mean, I think it could be fun. Cool for an Oath of Vengeance, too. Anyway, what did you make?
Yeah. Is it really a run of Paladin spells if you don't make a smite spell?
Exactly.
My 3rd level Paladin spell is called Angel on the Shoulder. It is an enchantment spell. It is a reaction spell cast when a creature within range makes a qualifying decision, which will be explained shortly. Range of 10 feet. Components are verbal, somatic, and material. They include a finely crafted pocket watch. The duration is instantaneous. If a creature within... So this is kind of a amorphous spell. Very amechanical. So we'll see how you feel about this. If a creature within range and possessing an alignment opposite yours audibly decides on a course of action that you believe is wrong, you can force them to make a charisma saving throw. On a failure, they cannot take the original course of action and must choose a new option that more closely adheres to your alignment. You cannot impose a choice on them or stop them once they make their new decision.
Very interesting.
Just saying, hey, I heard that you were about to do this. Nope, I'm waving my pocket watch in front of your face and saying, I don't know what else you're going to do, but you can't do that. You have to choose something that I would approve of.
Like a conscience
Go about your
thing.
business. Yeah. You're the angel on their shoulder.
Interesting. I think, I can see that really becoming a problem in certain cases.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's always tricky.
For worse, yeah.
It's always tricky when you're like doing something that removes agency.
And that's why I put in the stipulation: you are not allowed to make the choice for them. You can't give them the new option, and once they make the new option, you can't be like, "That's not really what I meant." They have to make their own choice for themselves.
And an option would be do nothing, right? Like an option would be you just don't take that action, and instead all you do is you don't take that action you were going to
just sit on my hands.
We're going to like if you were going to like, I don't know, grab this thief and push him against a wall or something, and you're like, no, we solve our problems non-violently. You can just be like, oh, well,
I'll just let him pass then. Yeah.
Like, I just don't do that, and part of that is making a choice. I think maybe also if you wanted to like codify it a little bit more so that there's a little less
ambiguity,
specifically when it comes to like what does the player think is wrong and what does the character think is wrong, right? Like that meta question. I think if you aligned it to the Paladin's subclass oath tenets. Like if a creature takes an action that's specifically like against one of your tenets of your oath, then like that's what a good one. Triggers that you do that. I think that would. I like this wording for me, but I can turn off the part of my brain that's me and be the part of my brain that's the character very easily. I think for some people, they prefer to have the guardrails there to say, like, when am I allowed to make this choice and when am I not?
Yeah.
Like,
I need to know exactly what I'm allowed to do. Yeah.
I need specific, rules for, like, what qualifies in this case. But I do think it is fun to just impose your moral code on somebody else as a paladin.
Yeah, just stop it. Stop doing that. Right now. Stop it right now.
So often when you play a paladin, you want to do that, right? You want to be like, yeah, I am the moral compass of this group, and I think that like this is the wrong route to go. And then the party is like, they don't listen to you because it's a bunch of like mercenaries and like ne'er-do-wells.
Neanderthals.
And you're trying to be the voice of reason, and they literally won't listen to you. This is a fun way to be like, I'm gonna force you to listen to me just a little bit.
Without any spell that's like this, any type of enchantment,
of course,
it's like there is the point where you don't want to become like the angel on the shoulder guy who's always gonna be like, actually, I'm the most veteran player at this table. I will angel on the shoulder you, so you have to use my ideas and not yours because I know how to metagame better than you. Like, obviously, that is a danger here. I would hope that this spell would not fall into the hands of somebody like that.
Yeah.
That's the hope.
I agree. Trust needed at the table for sure.
Yes. That whole spiel again for the 1,000th time. Moving over to the ranger side, I have Bird's Eye View. This is a divination spell, casting at 1 action with the range of self, verbal, and somatic components, the duration of 1 hour. For the duration, you can switch between your normal vision and one of the following 2 alternatives.
Ooh.
You can see straight ahead to the range of 1 mile.
Whoa.
You can see downward from 30 feet directly above your location. So there are some spells that are akin to this, right? You have like Arcane Eye and Divination that are a bit outside the ranger's reach, typically not available unless you multiclass or find another route there. Obviously, there's Beast Sense, but that requires a beast to be in the area. So this is a bit more of a both more flexible and more rigid at the same time. More flexible because you can use it anywhere.
Yeah.
More rigid because it is a bit more confined than those other 3 options. But I can't think of a better solo espionage spell than having a top-down view of your location from 30 feet above and seeing where everybody is around you. Like having that mini map.
Pretty useful
for yourself as you're walking around, or Legolas, what do your elven eyes see? Looking across the expanse of a mountain range out to a mile, and then shooting back into your own vision.
Yeah,
Obviously, don't like run around that way. That would be dangerous.
But it is great though if you do that. It's not concentration, right? So you set this off, and then because this is sight, you could go above your location, see people who are behind cover, whatever. You can target them with spells that require that you see them, because you can see them. Now, your body is in a different location, but you can see them from above where you are, which is pretty crazy. Also, I think it also doesn't have the problem of things where you're like sending a beast with your senses into a place or anything like that, where you also have to make stealth checks. You also have to like try and not get caught or noticed doing all of this. Correct. And you don't need to like rely on other people for contextualizing what you're seeing, like being able to see straight out to a mile without having to send a bird forward to come back to you and tell you what they saw, or send it forward and maybe get shot out of the sky.
Right.
You just see that. I think you
just have it.
A unique version of that for sure.
Thank you.
Very cool.
I like this is one of my favorite ones, I think, out of all 10 of them that I made. Level 4.
Well, we'll go on to 4th level spells. We got to get cruising through these. We'll go to my 4th level spell for the Ranger is called Hunter's Musk. This is an enchantment spell. It has a casting time of 1 hour, a range of 1 mile, and verbal, somatic, material components. Material components being a perfumed cloth. You create an emanation of distinctive pheromones that expands from you throughout the casting of the spell out to a 1-mile radius. At the end of the casting time, either a beast, dragon, elemental, fey, or plant-type creature within the spell's area, if any, is drawn to your location. Your DM decides the creature based on the environment. This creature is not immediately hostile to you or your allies. It is familiar with the surrounding area and can, at your DM's discretion, offer one service to you or your allies within its ability to provide.
I love that.
So you're just like sitting down for like an hour and just like
waiting for nature to come to you.
Yeah, this was inspired by like creatures that do this, right? They send out pheromones to just like attract either prey or mates or something, right? They're attracting or other creatures of their own type. Because they're a colony animal or something like that. You send out, you communicate through these nonverbal things, and
that's so cool.
You do that over an hour, and then something appears from the nearby area. It could be great to have that useful for learning more lore about a specific area. Mm-hmm. If you're hunting for a specific thing, few things know those areas or what's going on better than the creatures who live and breathe those spaces. So it's the perfect, NPC introduction, whatever it is. Nice little storytelling and exploration spell for a ranger. And then we have another paladin spell. This is one that I want to beef up because I actually don't think this is strong enough, but I like the idea. This is a 4th level conjuration called Oath Champion. This is a casting time of 1 action, range of 60 feet, verbal, somatic, and material components, a war horn, and concentration up to 1 hour. You summon a spectral champion of your oath. It manifests in an unoccupied 10-foot space that you can see within range. The champion has an AC of 18 and 50 hit points, and on your turn you can command the champion to move up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space you can see. Nice. The champion can move through spaces occupied by other creatures, but only creatures you choose can move through its space. The champion cannot take actions, however, you can cast your paladin spells from the champion's location and maintain concentration using your charisma saving throw modifier when making saving throws to maintain concentration. You can cast other concentration spells, putting that concentration onto this champion instead of yourself because you are maintaining concentration on the champion. You can move it strategically so that other creatures can't get to you. But it's more of a barrier than it is a creature. And I can't decide if I want to make it a full creature. I might just want to give it a couple more things that it does, specifically like reducing movement around it. And that sort of thing. Like, I think it's best used as a shield. So maybe I should just change it to that instead, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Maybe I just change it to an oath shield. Just like you summon a magical shield
a giant
or
shield.
A force field.
I don't know. I like the flexibility of having another figure on the map, though.
Yeah.
You can use it as a shield, certainly, but having concentration on a second spell on your champion is huge. Obviously you're concentrating on it, but you can really be giving yourself advantage in combat if you're surrounding another creature. I think there are a lot of uses here. I don't know, maybe have an aura around the champion or a radius around the champion of difficult terrain or blindness or deafness or something. I don't know.
I think it's either difficult terrain or I hadn't even considered it like counting as an ally for the purposes of anything like pack tactics, flanking, if that is a rule that you're using,
throw it out there to
sneak
help
attack,
your rogue.
Right?
Yeah.
I think if I made it a creature or like specify that it is a creature and an allied creature, that does add to the utility of it and how you move it around. Because it's not like a holy or it's not like a spiritual weapon where it doesn't actually count as a creature and therefore can't grant advantage or can't be considered like a non-incapacitated creature for the purposes of all of these other things.
This is a whole guy coming down to help you.
Yeah. I think if I beef it up like that, it feels good as a 4th level spell for Paladin.
Yeah,
It feels fun, so I'm into it. How about you? What'd you get?
As I was doing this is one of the final ones that I wrote. I was trying to think back to all of the players I've had that have played Paladins. And one of my favorite ones played a character named Teth, who was a giant warforged. I've talked about Teth a lot. I don't know if I've ever named him, but he is the one that started the lore of these giant mechanical warriors that I've talked about several times. So this is Teth's Golden Shackles. It is a conjuration spell. It takes an action to cast with a range of 30 feet. Only material components. This requires a golden brooch in the shape of a sun. You target a creature within range and force it to make a wisdom save. That might actually be a charisma save. I'm not sure. Wisdom felt better in the moment, but now I'm thinking charisma. I don't know. On a failure, brilliant golden shackles appear around the target's wrists. The target takes 3d10 radiant damage and gains the incapacitated condition, but can still speak. At the end of each of the target creature's subsequent turns, it takes 1d10 radiant damage and can remake the saving throw. So you're just locking a creature down and dealing some damage over time. You can upcast it. The initial and subsequent damage increases by 1d10 for each slot over 4. So if you cast it at 5th level, that's a significant bump of that damage. If you want to burn a 5th level spell to lock one creature down.
Incapacitated is great.
And I'm thinking I think it might have to be a creature large size or smaller.
Probably. That would make sense.
To reduce the power level of this a little bit. It is a bit on the strong side.
Yeah, I think reducing the size of the creature is probably a good choice, but it does feel very Paladin-y. It's like, okay, all right, no, you I'm taking you prisoner. Like,
you're coming with me.
You're coming with me.
Yeah.
Like, locking you down.
Very Paladin.
That feels good.
Big Paladin energy. Yeah.
Cool.
And then for the Ranger spell, I have an issue with the spell. I like the spell that I made.
Okay.
And then something happened that makes me so upset. I wrote this spell a week ago. This was the first one I wrote. I was super excited about it. And then Wizards of the Coast decides to go and make a thing called D&D Beyond Drops. Have you seen this yet?
I'm aware of it. I have not looked into it in any depth.
There's a spell that they released days after I wrote this that is almost identical. It's almost the exact same concept, and I'm so upset about it. I came up with it. I probably didn't come up with it first. They probably read it months ago. But I wrote it, and then it was published, and I'm so upset. Yeah. This is called Plant Pets. It is a transmutation spell. Costs 1 action to cast at a range of 60 feet. Verbal, somatic, and material components, fur, fangs, scales, or other animal parts. Kind of up to you to flavor those as you wish. And a duration of 10 minutes.
Okay.
You target 1 plant, shrub, vine, or other available flora, transforming it into a beast of CR 1/2 or lower that you have seen for the duration. In combat, the beast shares your initiative and can take its turn either just before or immediately after yours. It's only able to use an action or movement on its turn. This beast is friendly to you unless you or an ally physically harms it, and the challenge rating for the beast can be 1 or lower if you cast the spell at level 5.
Okay.
On the D&D Beyond Drops page, there's a spell called Sticks to Snakes, which is the exact same thing, where you just transform 4 sticks into 4 snakes.
4 snakes.
And it has almost the exact same verbiage too. I couldn't believe it. It stipulated combat rules. It stipulated that it was friendly. And I was so mad when I read it today. Dang.
It's so good though. I mean, yours is better because yours allows you to flavor it however you want instead of just sticks and snakes. You can choose a beast and you can turn any plant into a beast. I love that.
Thanks.
I like anything like that. That's very fun. I'm a fan.
Thank you.
Especially since they removed all of the actually you're summoning an animal spells.
I know.
From 2024.
What the heck?
They're all emanations now that pretend to be animals but aren't actually.
Yeah.
I understand it for simplicity's sake, but
we can handle it.
Fun. Anyway, great. Yeah, I like it. Okay, now we're on to the capstone spells. The top level spells, the 5th level spells, the highest that we can cast
Level 5.
So this is beefy as it gets, and with my ranger, we get the spell Resourceful Blessing. This is a 5th level enchantment, mostly because I don't really know what other school of magic this would be.
Yeah, I had a couple of those.
So enchantment it is. This has a casting time of 10 minutes, a range of 30 feet, components, verbal, somatic, material. The material components do have a cost. They are the contents of an explorer's pack worth 10 gold pieces, which the spell consumes. So in order to cast the spell, you have to have an extra explorer's pack on hand. And it takes place instantaneously. You carry out a short ritual of preparation. Up to 6 creatures of your choice within range can choose a new list of prepared spells, can instantly attune to a single magic item, and can restore all uses of one limited use class feature such as Wild Shape or Rage.
Nice. Yeah.
Just
that's
reload
really cool.
Everybody. You freshen up your spells, freshen up your magic item, and get one of your most important things back. This is your ranger is, again, support ranger. You're getting everybody prepared again. This is the Boy Scout. Always prepared. And always has an explorer's pack with everything you all need to get back to 100%, well, nearly 100%, at least on a few useful things, so that you can head into the next challenge very well prepared.
I love that. Very cool.
And then for our paladin, we have Holy Bulwark, which is not dissimilar to things I've made in the past, but I think it's mostly just because I really love this idea and I need something in the actual game to give me this fantasy. This is the 5th level transmutation. This is very similar to the boots that I made a long time ago. For I think it was the 1 horn 2 boots.
1 horn 2 boots.
This is a better version of it because it's a spell. It costs an action. Has a range of self, verbal, and somatic components. Concentration up to 10 minutes. You bolster yourself in magical power and make yourself an immovable force. You gain the following features. Your movement speed becomes 0 for the duration. You gain a +2 bonus to your armor class. You gain an additional reaction each round, and this reaction can only be used to make an attack of opportunity.
Yep.
Any creature you hit with a melee weapon attack or unarmed strike has its speed reduced to 0 until the end of your next turn. So you get a little mini sentinel feat here when you have this spell cast on you. And then ranged weapon and spell attacks are made by creatures within 10 feet of you are made at disadvantage.
Nice. I'm pulling you in, locking you down.
Human shielding here.
Yeah.
You stay where you are, and hopefully you keep everyone else where they are too. Which is a great way to keep something from moving away from you. Also means that you can't move, but you can if all goes well, you can lock them down quick.
Yeah, this is a great spell. It feels like a more accessible, and I guess only by a few levels, but this is like Paladin Capstone Light. You get it a couple levels early, like a stationary turret, defensive turret. Yeah. Cool.
An earlier version of this spell involved more of a graviturgy kind of school of magic situation, where instead you draw those towards yourself. Yeah. You become a black, almost actually sort of like your black hole barbarian, which is a little bit. I decided not to do it, and it also felt underpowered for the level that it was going to be at, and it felt a little too similar to that. But I feel like that's also a fun thing for a paladin, just to be like, I'm just gonna pull everybody toward me instead.
Shoop. Come on over, pal. Stay a while
over here. So, how about you? What are your capstones?
All right, the capstone for my paladin. Again, what is a run of paladin spells without a smite in there? Mine is the 5th level evocation spell, Rolling Smite. This is a bonus action, as most of the other smites are, taken after you make a weapon attack. The range is self, only verbal components. When you cast the spell, and as a bonus action on each of your turns thereafter, The target hit by the attack roll takes an extra 1d10 radiant damage from the attack, which seems like not that much. On each subsequent turn, the bonus damage is increased by 1d10.
Ooh, wow.
The spell ends when you miss an attack. And the bonus damage can't exceed 5d10. So as long as you keep hitting, you can roll this smite over turn after turn after turn. It can continue on unless you miss.
Okay. Does it have to be the same target every turn?
Oh, I didn't stipulate that. Probably. It probably should, huh? To make it a little bit harder.
It would be harder to make it pay off. But, I mean...
I don't know.
But
yeah, you roll the dice, right? You blow a 5th level spell slot, and maybe you only do 1d10 extra damage.
And you probably wouldn't burn this for a henchman.
Right. You're saving this
5th level spell. You're probably gonna go for the thing that has enough hit points to soak probably most of these before they max out.
1d10, 2d10, 3d10. Even if you get 3 attacks in, you're averaging more total damage than the other, because the only other 5th level one is Banishing Smite, which is more duration based. So that's not really a 1-to-1 comparison. You can do some significant damage here.
Yeah. Other follow-up question. The bonus damage can't exceed 5d10, but can it go for more turns than that?
Yes.
And it just stays at 5? Great.
It just stays at 5d10.
Yeah. I can appreciate that. I think that's great.
Anything above that I felt was a little bit ridiculous for a 5th level spell.
That's very fair.
Maybe not ridiculous for a paladin that's like avenging a fallen, whatever the narrative reason is. Mechanically, we're fine at 5d10.
You don't want them to be dealing 30 bonus damage every turn?
Every single turn, and then continuing to scale up from there. And then the Ranger 5th level spell. This is a transmutation spell called One with Wolves. It's an action to cast, range of self, material components, 1 vial of wolf's blood, which the spell consumes, and the duration is 4 hours. You call upon the gods of nature for aid. You take the shape of a winter wolf and use its game statistics. You maintain your intelligence, wisdom, and charisma scores, as well as any languages you speak. You stay in wolf form for the duration of the spell until you end it as an action, or you fall to 0 hit points, and at which you would just revert to your normal self, your normal form.
Great.
But you just turn into a big wolf.
Yeah.
And that's
do you keep your hit points, or do you get those hit points as temporary hit points? What's the deal there?
You use the Winter Wolf's game statistics, so you have the wolf's hit points until it's. I did mean to actually put this in that you can't recover hit points. In wolf form, you can't get hit points back. So then
when you drop to 0 in wolf form, you go back to your
you go back to wherever
Ranger.
you were.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I like it. It's like a miniature wild shape, but only wolves and only for Ranger and only with the 5th level spell slot.
And a higher CR.
A higher CR than most wild shapes can do, but a very limited version of it.
Simple.
Yeah. Very, very simple. Also, like, it is a little more, a little different also than polymorph, I suppose, also.
Yeah, I think I was. This was one of the later ones, and I think I kind of rushed through it. The idea I liked so much that I just kind of like word vomited it.
Sure, yeah.
There were more things that I'd like to add to this. I just didn't want it to be 1,000 words long. Yeah, so I would say you are unable to regain hit points as the wolf. You're unable to cast spells as the wolf. Of
course, yeah.
Obviously you can't use any of your weapons or things that you would need hands to wield. So you can only use the claw attack and the cold breath attack, which is very cool.
Cold breath is great.
And then, I would say, I guess any spells that apply to you before you transform would still apply because it's not concentration.
Yeah.
So you can cast Hunter's Mark and then transform into a wolf and still reap the benefits of that.
You can maintain concentration. I imagine it as being similar to sort of a combination of wild shape and polymorph.
It's a mix, yeah. Somewhere in the middle, ranger specific,
which is fun. I like it.
Yeah. It's for like no pun intended, but it is more for the lone wolf style rangers, for the scout rangers that are okay going out and operating on their own.
Yeah, this was a fun exercise. Definitely more to explore within those areas. I think we need to add more full runs of spells.
I agree.
We'd love to make some bard spells, and
I think bard is already on our list.
Bard,
I think there's a full run of bard spells. Mm-hmm. We may as well just go ahead and put
put them all in there. Full run of cleric spells.
Yeah.
Full run of warlock spells.
I was gonna say, is wizard really necessary? I feel like wizard just make 9 spells at that point.
Yeah, just make
nine of whatever. Spells. 9 of whatever you want.
We can give some love to our sorcerers, though. So
sorcerers, yes,
very fun. I like it.
Let's roll for next week.
Let's do it. I've got our big homebrew prompt list up here, ready to go.
And I have a D20. I am going to roll on this list. If you, again, have a prompt you'd like to hear Dan and I tackle on the show, please send us a message. You can get in touch with us via email. That's collegeofcreationpod@gmail.com, or send us a message over on the Patreon, patreon.com/collegeofcreationpod. We'd love to hear from you. Please reach out. Let's go. Dan, that's a 14.
That, Michael, is going to be this doesn't have a name associated with it. This is a creature made of precious metals or gemstones.
Yeah, I was looking forward to this one.
I don't know if that one came from TikTok or someone who submitted anonymously. Either way, if you submitted that, thank you so much for that, whether it was a TikTok comment or something else like that. Creatures made of precious metals and gemstones. They released the gem dragons some time ago with Fizbins.
Rule of thumb, I suppose, in any case, is just avoid dragons.
I think yes. I will be avoiding dragons.
We've tried to do that before, and it was just something I couldn't even wrap my mind around. But do you go, at face value, take your metals and make them constructs, take your gems and make them elementals? Or do you try and fit those things into other boxes? Do you have gemstone-based monstrosities?
And specifically precious metals.
Precious metal...
not just like...
undead? Precious metal aberrations? Ooh. Space metal? Ooh. Space rocks?
Space metal.
You got space rocks floating around?
Space gems. Actually, I did have a homebrew setting that was not exactly Spelljammer. It was much more like straight ahead sci-fi universe, very much more like Star Trek-y vibes, where I did craft a number of homebrew races, actually. One of them being an insectoid race that didn't have vocal cords, so couldn't actually speak verbally, but instead their species relied on non-verbal communication. And so they all had like talk boxes in order to communicate. And I had a player playing a one-shot in this universe, and she used a speech-to-text generator or a text-to-speech, other way around, generator for the entirety of the one-shot, and that was very fun.
Nice.
Did not speak at all, except for the character's internal monologue, but all dialogue was in that. But also included a creature type that was a species of gemstone people who could like meld into mineral deposits. And I might actually pull that up and brush it off and present it as an additional thing in addition to whatever I make.
Yeah, please do.
Because
that's so cool.
Well, we'll be looking forward to that. Michael, I will speak to you then, And listeners, thank you so very much for listening. We're running short on time, Michael. Do you have one quick thing to say to the people before we say goodbye?
One quick thing for the people before we say goodbye. DMs. Use all 5 senses when you're explaining to your players where they are. Mm-hmm. All 5 senses. When I first started DMing, I was so focused on painting beautiful pictures for my players that they only really got what places looked like. And I never let them know what they smelled like or felt like or sounded like. And that completes the mental image, right? Mm-hmm. So I challenge you, the next time you're in a new city or a new dungeon or a new wherever you're going, a new biome somewhere in nature, what are the smells? Is there fruit growing on the trees? Does it smell like fruit? Is there sand beneath their feet? Their feet are sinking into the sand and it's mushy or muddy. How does it feel? What does it sound like? Are there birds calling? Are there primates swinging through the trees in the distance and screaming to and back to each other? All of those things make such a robust, fully lived in experience for your players, and in my experience it makes them more prone to giving things back to you. It kind of soft trains everybody at the table to explain things like that, so you get much more vibrant explanations back from your players,
for sure.
So I urge you to try that. Quick thing done.
What does your world taste like?
Yeah, lick a rock. Going. It's salty. This is really salty here.
Yeah. Tastes like moss. All right, gang. Well, thank you so much for listening. Until next time, goodbye.
Goodbye.